As you can see, the transmission's out. I haven't gotten it torn down yet. Alright, so I got this trans out. I got it on the table. And I should have separated the transfer case while it was still bolted to the engine, I think. Because this bitch don't want to come apart. You can tell it's been apart before. They got great whatever gasket maker, RTV. Between it, when they swapped out the transmission for a, would they put a 01 Frontier transmission in it? Frontier transmission. But I need to get this transfer case off, and that's what I'm going to try to work to do now, and then we'll get the transmission apart and see exactly what's going on inside. I guess once I get this thing apart, we'll see. I've taken out literally every one of those bolts. There shouldn't be anything else holding this thing together, but it does not want to come apart. So I guess here in just a second I'll report back. I would mount this thing up and I don't know, maybe do a time lapse or something of me trying to get this stupid thing apart, but I just don't have any way to mount it right now, and the audio on my phone's messed up, so I can't video the entire thing. Alright, so I finally got this thing separated. Just a little bit of bumping it this way. It finally let go. It only took a couple minutes. But as far as things that do not look good, I would say that is probably one of them. I'm hoping for the best, but let's get this thing the rest of the way off and take a look at things now that most of that fluid's come out. If Muck was a steel type Pokemon, god dang. Yeah, there's quite a bit of metal in there. I don't know what could have happened to this thing to make it. I must have beat the shit out of it. Yeah, so I guess now I'll start working from the front cover on the transmission and see about getting the gears and everything out of it and see just how bad things are. I mean, this thing's gonna have to be like thoroughly clean. There's metal pouring from every orifice of this fucking thing. So, all right, let's see what we got. All right, so quick update. I got the transmission apart. Transfer case separated. We were able to check everything for what might be wrong with the transmission, and so much metal. And you can see this stuff is like, it's just metal paste. And so I expected a lot of this stuff. I mean, you can see like remnants of this nasty metal crap that was all through the transmission. And I kind of have all the pieces separated. This was all the bolts and everything that I had to take off to get the actual transmission apart, and this is all the stuff prior to that, you know, removing the transfer case and everything else. So one of the first things that we notice, obviously, is probably the fact that there is just, I mean, there's just way too much play here. And that synchro assembly from, I think it's like 3rd and 4th there, there's something going on with that. You can, let's see if I can get it to kind of show, but here towards the inside of this gear, because of that play, you can see those wear marks there on 4th gear. And let's see if I can turn this. You can see that there looks like there's like a, a chip or something. It's really, this stupid GoPro doesn't want to focus. But right here, above my finger there, is some wear on that tooth, but I mean, it's not terrible, and I can't find the part number for 4th gear, nor can I find 4th gear anywhere. Obviously, the main reason that this was taken apart is because 1st gear was completely trashed. And 1st gear, being this one, and I tried to keep this fork as far forward as I can, but you can see the dog teeth between 1st gear and that line up with this synchro here. Let's see. Most of them are just completely gone. All these, even though they're worn down, there are still teeth there, but as you move, you can see that all these teeth on 1st gear for the synchro assembly, they're all sheared off. But the rest of the 1st gear itself looks fine. But regardless, 1st gear is going to have to be replaced, and we'll try to get a full rebuild kit with all new synchros and bearings. Everything else seems to look okay. There's not much wear at all on reverse. I mean, 5th gear, the synchros for 5th gear, everything looks fine. It still even has the retainer clip in there. All the other retainer, those little clips are gone. I don't even know if I can find those, but you know, just a couple things. I expected, since reverse isn't synchronized at all, it would be pretty worn out, but it's not. So I guess the biggest thing is going to be replacing all the synchros, finding out why I have so much play in there, and I'm guessing it's probably those clips, because you can see right in there, as you push in, that turns, and there should be one of those like retainers in there that keeps that pretty straight and keeps it from moving back and forth. I'll be honest, I'm not too sure until I get this whole thing completely apart. But all in all, I expected this to be so much worse on the inside than it was, simply due to the fact that there was just so much metal in there. So instead of videoing the whole teardown, because my phone and this camera and things like that, it's been kind of a pain to get things set up. But when I go to put this stuff back together, I'll make sure to video the whole process. That way you can kind of at least get a good feel for, you know, how to tear down if you just do the reverse of the build-up. So hopefully that'll at least help, and I'll try to, you know, again, document as much of this stuff as I can. I just went ahead and put the transfer case, the bell housing part of the transmission, the other half of the transmission, everything else on this dolly, kind of push it up to the rear of the car just so it's out of the way. But all that stuff looks fine. It's gonna have to be cleaned up, and hopefully once it all goes back together, it's gonna be just fine.